What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about draft prospect Tyree Wilson. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, I do want to talk about draft prospect Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson played his college ball at Texas Tech. He goes about 6'6", 275 pounds. And I definitely think that he will be on the Falcons' radar at 8. If he's still on the board at 8 in the first round of this upcoming draft. Tyree Wilson is a very versatile athlete at Texas Tech. They kind of used him all over on the defensive line. They used him on the inside as a 3-tech. They used him as a defensive end. But he's a guy that has great strength. That was the first thing that I noticed about him, is that he's a pass rusher that likes to use his strength over speed and athleticism. And I definitely think that would be bode well for our Atlanta Falcons. Now that we know that Ryan Nielsen will be our defensive coordinator, former Saints defensive line coach, and he likes bigger, athletic linemen. And I definitely think that Tyree Wilson would be a guy that would fit in his scheme perfect because of his size, because of his power. And he's one of those guys, like I said, that we can use all over on our defensive line. And being that the Falcons have drafted guys like Arnold Ebiketie and D'Angelo Malone, guys that kind of like to use the speed rush, I really feel like he would be a good yin to their yang as far as being a different style of pass rusher for our Atlanta Falcons. Now, Tyree Wilson is one of those guys that doesn't have a whole lot of pass rush moves. He's still a raw athlete, but I do think that he will be perfect for our defense because Ryan Nielsen is one of those guys that can develop talent. He's been one of those guys that helped the Saints develop their defensive linemen, guys like Trey Hendrickson, that's now a Cincinnati Bengal, guys like Marcus Davenport that they had, and guys like Onyemata on that defensive line of the New Orleans Saints. He was able to help develop those guys. And I think that Tyree Wilson could be another one of those guys that he could help develop. But you can't teach that size of 6'6", 275. And I definitely think he also adds a different style of pass rusher, because the Falcons over the last decade have looked for guys that were smaller, like Vic Beasley, guys like Takk McKinley, guys that preferred to use their athleticism over using their strength. But I definitely think that Tyree Wilson could be one of those guys that you can use on first, second, and third down, where when we had guys like Vic Beasley, guys like Arnold Ebiketie, guys like D'Angelo Malone, they preferred to use those guys in pass rush situations mainly, and they weren't guys that really was great at setting the edge. But I definitely think that a guy like Tyree Wilson, because of his size and strength, he would be a great edge setter. At that 6'6", 275, he could be one of those guys that the Falcons could use on first, second, and third down. And he could be a guy that you can put on the inside on third and long situations if you wanted to run some type of NASCAR package with him, Grady Jarrett, Tyree Wilson on the inside, maybe Ebiketie and D'Angelo Malone on the other edge. You could do a lot of different things because of Tyree Wilson's athleticism. If I were to compare him to an NFL player, a current player, a former player, I would compare him to Justin Tuck that used to play with the New York Giants. That was a very good pass rusher. He was about 6'5", 265 pounds. So Tyree Wilson's a little bit taller, like an inch taller, and probably 10 pounds heavier. But that's who his game kind of reminds me of when I watch his game, is he has an ability to get after the passer, but he's very good and stout in the run game. And that was something that Justin Tuck did very well on those Giants defenses. If you remember when they had Michael Strahan, O.C. Umenyiora, and Justin Tuck, they had a bunch of guys that they could bring in and use that NASCAR package to rush the passer, and they were able to beat the Patriots, the undefeated Patriots, in that Super Bowl. So I definitely think that Tyree Wilson could be similar to a Justin Tuck, a guy who has the athleticism, but is a guy that's very versatile as far as you can pretty much line him up anywhere on the defensive line and he's going to have success. So with that being said, you guys let me know what you think about Tyree Wilson. I definitely think he would be a good pick for the Atlanta Falcons. Another thing that I like about his length and size is that when you can't get to the pass rusher, you know what the coaches always say, get your hands up. And being that he's 6'6" and has those long arms, he can deflect a lot of passes. Wherever you line him up, he's right there in front of the quarterback. And a lot of the quarterbacks are not going to be able to throw the ball over him, where he's able to get his hands in those passing lanes. So I think that that's another thing that's underrated with those, with longer, taller defensive linemen. They have the ability to put their hands in those throwing lanes and affect passes and things of that nature and cause turnovers. So I definitely think that's another thing, that Tyree Wilson could bring to the table with that athleticism, is not only him being able to stop the run because of his size and his ability to be relentless as far as he's a guy that has a high motor, but also him being, able to use that athleticism and those long arms to bat passes at the line of scrimmage and things of that nature. So with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the video. I have a lot more content coming for you guys as always. But as always, Falcons Nation, be blessed. Peace.